I've been in this house a couple weeks now, so let me tell you what's been going on.
As we progressed into September, the sun became more scarce and the clouds came passing through for a few days. With the clouds brought some rain and some wind, and with the rain came an infestation of snails, moving across the road, hanging out in the garden, and really any other place they could sneak their way into. While being away from town has the benefit of the quiet, it has the negative of being right in the path of the wind. I sit in the evenings working and I hear the punching bag on the balcony upstairs rock back and forth, and the shed outside has a few loose screws, which causes the tin roof to rattle. The clouds have made for some very beautiful sunsets though, and being outside of the city makes it much easier to watch them. The dogs are doing great. One of them is more vocal and the other likes to nibble. They both listen pretty well, but sometimes it takes seeing the other respond to a command and be rewarded before they both fully understand.
Hey, sit. Stay. Good. Stay. Come. Sit.
They're young though, and they're learning. They're growing too. When my friends get back to their house, they'll no longer have two puppies rolling around on top of each other. It will be two almost fully grown chocolate Labradors.
Go get it. Good. Come here. Come here. Good job. Good job. Good job. Good job. Good. Sit. Good. Stay. Good. Good job. Good job.
So I can't be 100% sure why the dogs are kind of trying to scrape the water out of this tiny water bucket, but what I've done is I've tried to remedy that, and I use this big bucket and I just have filled it up. This way they can jump in if they like, if it's getting too hot, because the sun has gotten hotter since the clouds moved on, or they can still drink out of it if they want to also. So they kept knocking the little one over, and then they wouldn't have any water if I was not at the house. So this is a better solution for that, in my opinion. I guess we're just cooling off. Hey, don't chew on that.
I've been struggling with a work problem for a week or two. I could not figure out how to finish off an edit for a video. So I would just stare into the screen, listening to the audio track time and time again, trying to understand how to give it the type of visual representation it deserved. Before, I wouldn't let myself struggle through things. I would get stuck and move on to something else, maybe turn on the TV or a sports match to get the problem out of my head. But that rarely helped. I needed to actually wrestle with the disconnect in my editing to be able to fix the issue I was having. It took a long time of sitting and thinking. This type of space and quiet allows me to do that.
Gotta get my hair cut to keep my mindset right. If you don't understand what I'm talking about, I talked about it in the last video. Go check it out. I just got a phone call. I'm in the process of trying to renew my residence permit, and they apparently need some things that I do not have. Namely, a bank account with 4,000 euros or more in it. And I'm not really sure how to remedy that situation because I'm not about to get 4,000 euros or more into any of my bank accounts. So this is just a reality of living here, trying to sort through this process. This wasn't the case 5 years ago when I got here and I first got a residence permit here, but now things have changed. They changed the law a couple years ago, and there's some added things that I have to do to be qualified to live here, like provide them with my diploma as well, which has been a process because I don't carry my college diploma around with me.
Tu should see. Really quiet. Sure, it's a small village, but it feels like more than that. The house is set off from the road quite a bit, which probably cuts down significantly on the noise of passing cars. To be honest, A lot of my life in this country is quiet. I live alone and I rarely go out, which are probably both significant factors. For me, it's different than being in the US, because when I was there, friends would schedule plans or text each other to hang out, and it seems different here. It feels like people find each other around town and make immediate plans to spend time with one another in that very moment, which is another reason why my life feels quiet, because I'm not often in the right place at the right time. But even when I am, sometimes it can still feel lonely. This is one of the big motivations for me to learn the language, because at some point or another, if I'm around a group of Albanians, they'll revert to their native tongue for conversation. Obviously, I'm the foreigner in the situation, and I am in their country, so I absolutely do not blame them for having conversations that I can sometimes understand, but probably not fully participate in. But it causes a unique feeling of loneliness despite being around people. So then I tend to just stay out of it, because I'd rather feel alone while being alone than to feel it while being surrounded by people.
Oh, don't get me wet. Come on, no, come on. Come on, don't get me all wet. Why? Why are you doing this? You just really need some attention, huh? You both just really need attention. Here, give each other attention. Fight, fight, fight. Fight each other. Fight each other. You like that little pool I made for you.
What this does, however, is make those times spent with people all the more sweet. Spending time with friends becomes something I crave and cherish when I used to take it for granted. And so when I get invited for a night of homemade pizza making, there's rarely a time I turn it down.
You change like the leaves in September. So cold that you freeze with the weather. One day we're done and the next we're together. You show whatever.
Things like this.
So I told you last time that I've been watching my diet and practicing better eating habits. But that has to come alongside enjoying life. I'm learning that I don't need to be overly obsessed. It's okay every now and then to indulge in something that I typically wouldn't allow in my regular eating plan.
Here I am, staying in spite of it. In the winter you go. Shapeshifter you ride.
And then the next night, some friends came to the house to grill up some dinner and watch the Albania versus Poland football match. I suppose it's soccer to us Americans out here. While I don't have a TV, I do have my computer. I need it for work. Sometimes I'll go back to my apartment when there's something specific that I want to see, like the FIBA World Cup. But having to actually make the trip back to my apartment has made me much pickier on what things I deem necessary to watch and how much time I actually spend on it. In the midst of everything I have going on in my personal life, I still have responsibilities at my actual job. Recently even, we had to move our media and marketing office. The social project helps children with special needs, and that program has capabilities of expanding, but hasn't had the space. For as long as I've been here in Albania, the social project was housed on the floor below my office. But now they'll take over the entire building. And we will move our operations to a smaller office in another building. I work from home most of the time, so a smaller office doesn't affect me much in my day-to-day, but it will take a bit for me to get used to walking into a different building on campus.
But this is like we're having to cut our space in half, basically. If not, yeah, if not more than half. Can I steal this Albanian map?
You can steal everything too.
I want that in my house. I will.
And I've been doing my best to keep up with my fitness goals.
Part of this fitness thing is trying to walk more, just in general. So I'm walking to the gym, but that requires a decent length walk through the village and then into town.
Recently on my walk to the gym, I spent a long stretch walking next to these flower beds. I'm not sure what all of the flowers are, but I definitely know the names of a few of these. Funny enough, the significance they have in my life is much bigger than I'd initially noticed. Daisies are a representation of something key in my life. but it's something that I'll have to talk to you about another time. I've reached a point, finally, where going to the gym is a part of the day that I look at with enthusiasm rather than with dread. I've slowly but surely been building up strength, and it shows with the increasing weight. I don't know if there's a better illustration of how daily dedication, no matter how small, leads to impactful change. Going to the gym and lifting weights on a consistent basis over the last couple of years has been the primary contributing factor into me getting healthier.
An easy way I've been making sure I'm getting enough protein and consistent meals, makes it easier to track calories, is usually every day after I work out I buy a whole rotisserie chicken and eat it for lunch with some fruit and yogurt occasionally. But gotta go pick up the chicken before I walk home. Well, back to the house. See ya. Well, this is awkward.
When I started focusing on eating a better diet on a daily basis, my overall mental health and well-being improved. Not immediately from one day to the next, but consistency and building the habit has been paying off.
Tried to cook pork tenderloin on the grill, and I'm not good at grilling, but oh man, this is looking good. I hope it's cooked all the way. It smells delicious. Well, time to cut into it and let's see. That looks nicely cooked to me. Now let's taste it and see. I put some sort of seasoning on it, some sort of steak seasoning, Montreal steak seasoning, I think. I found it in the cabinet. It's a little dry, but pretty good. Probably could have put less seasoning on it. I didn't realize how much salt was in that, but still good.
I'm anticipating the same outcomes from the other things I've been working on. Day-to-day interactions in Albanian will help my understanding of it in the long term. Regularly pulling out my guitar and spending as little as 5 minutes on a few chords will lead to being able to make it all the way through songs. I'll spare you from having to hear what I'm trying to play at the moment, but know it's better than it was even just a week ago. I've been focusing on hand placement, especially during the changes between chords. It's really not easy for me, but every small improvement helps. So that's been life for the last few weeks. It's nothing glamorous, but that's what it's like for me. I focus on what's right in front of me, no matter how small it might be, and see what comes of it at the end. And who knows, maybe it turns into something beautiful. Thanks for sticking with me today. I'll be back soon.